What's up, everyone? I'm here to do Naruto, the latest chapter. It is chapter 692. And so this is one of those chapters where it's just like, wow. Because honestly, it was. Let me just put it out there. I'm assuming you guys have already read it, so again, let's just get straight into the discussion. 700 chapters of Naruto later, it's finally going to end. Wow, it's been such a long journey, many years. I know I know the ending to this chapter. It's not going to end yet, but it's come real goddamn close. So I just want to, put that aside. Now let's get to the actual thing that was pulled at the end of this chapter. You all know what it is. They did the whole thing where the author has decided to please the fans and do Naruto vs Sasuke fight. It's so obvious. It was the same thing in Harry Potter. Apparently J.K. Rowling, she wanted a certain thing with the romances, but to appease the incessant hundreds of thousands of fans, apparently she decided to not go with the Hermione and Harry relationship and appease the fans by making Ron and Hermione have a relationship and later on marry. This was a similar thing. Now, to say that the author didn't plant seeds initially to foreshadow this possibility is not true. There's been foreshadowing examples, and another manga reviewer by the name of For Never World, he recently posted a photo of a past chapter about 50 to 100 chapters ago when Sasuke first arrived at the big fight scene site. He said something very similar, and his whole point was that this has been foreshadowed in the past. This was not just pulled out of nowhere. And basically it was just the scene where it's like Sakura's like, I'm glad Sasuke's returned. I'm finally glad that he's come back. And then one of the people observing Sakura's like, I know that your smile is false. And you see Sakura smiling, but her eyes are like sad. And then you see like Sasuke, and he's pretty much like, I'll put an end to this twisted system and create a new world. And he has his own main Q Sharingan. And then he's like, no, I'll burn it down. So to say that the author didn't place initial seeds is false. But I disagree with that point that, okay, this was all pre-planned. I believe that the author placed many potential seeds for potential pathways the plot can go. And definitely throughout this whole, long arc, this final huge fight arc, and I'm talking the whole thing, starting from when the 5 Kages came in to fight together. This whole arc honestly has been a whirlwind of the author honestly being pressed for time, because it's not like Harry Potter where she can literally pre-plan the whole book before she decides to write it and release it. This one, the author, it's one of those things that I think, there's definitely things that make manga better than films and, films and other stuff, like books. But for one thing, I think that this, constant need to release a manga every single week, a chapter every single week, and just being most likely being pressured to do so. And sure, you can call off holidays and sick days, but I'm sure there's an incentive and pressure to keep the author constantly pumping this stuff out. So it causes him to sort of just have to, he has some pre-planning, but I'm sure he doesn't. He would have, if he could do things differently, like a monthly release. With less content or just more time to think things through. I just felt like a lot of the arc's been sort of like a make it up as you go, and a lot of choices about where the plot's gone has just been like, I don't have much time, I think this is the best way, we'll just do it this way. and then towards the end he started just going like, I just want to make it the biggest, flashiest ending ever. Let's just go with that. And with this chapter, I just think it's very clear, because if you are even close to the Naruto community, online or offline, you know that there's been a lot of hype and talk and discussion about Naruto versus Sasuke fighting. It's like, and there's this huge complaint, I guess you could say, about, I can't believe he didn't put this in. I can't believe he pulled this stupid thing where he made Madara the biggest villain, and then he pulled the thing with Obito, and it's like, okay, so he flipped the switcheroo. I still don't like it. Where's Naruto versus Sasuke? I thought the culmination of this whole thing would be the fight between them, and then they pulled this whole Kaguya thing, another twister. I feel like the author, he wanted to make it the biggest, flashiest ending, so he's just like, what else can I do? What other plot twister can I throw in there? And for me, it's just like the whole thing was just too flashy. The plot twisters were just, man, like, I mean, it's not like devastating, ridiculous plot twisters like, I mean, I was going to say Attack on Titan, but I think I've seen better plot twisters in films. The point, though, is, I really just felt like the author pulled something where it's like, okay, you know what, I will throw this in. I want to make it the biggest, flashiest ending ever. It's pretty cliched. I know that, everyone knows what's happening. It was just a big move made to please the fans. Am I disappointed? Compared to the whole thing ending, I'm not disappointed, but at the same time, it's just very cliched, and the whole thing was just very hackneyed, and it just didn't seem organic and genuine. It just seemed like it had to be done. It just didn't seem natural. I think that's why the reaction of people saying that it just came out of nowhere is coming forth. Really, it's just because it's sort of like the author decided to do it, despite the whole, like, from what we've seen, nothing from the characters, Sasuke included, seem to have really gone towards this. I mean, he really made it so that he could have gone this way or just ended it right now. And I think it really was just a switcheroo that wasn't built up properly. The reason why he's doing this is obviously not good. It's a weak reason for Sasuke doing this, and turning evil again. I just feel like it's very obvious he did this for the big Naruto versus Sasuke fight. Who do I think will win? Naruto, of course. I mean, it's too cliched. It's just too obvious. The foreshadowing, the title of the manga series, everything. The fact that Naruto versus Sasuke won the first one. I am in fact, deep down rooting for Sasuke, because it's just, come on, bring something new. I would rather, like, that would be a great plot twister for once. Sasuke beating Naruto and something else happening. That would be great if Sasuke beat Naruto and said, hey Naruto, you have no freaking idea what you're doing. Your whole philosophy of, everyone being at peace is just preposterous. Like, and I have a better way of doing things. And then he does it, and it turns out to be better. And maybe he spares the Kages or something. I don't know. The whole thing with the killing the Kages and taking control of all the beasts, somewhat bizarre and retarded at the same time. It's like the reasons behind it were very weak. It was simply done so that the author could appease his fans, in my opinion. Will it be a great fight? Most likely. I'm hoping so. It really depends on what the author decides to do with it. Obviously, it seems like potentially all their abilities have already been revealed, but perhaps, at the same time, it's almost definitely Sasuke. He's been saving a few, hidden in them. He's hidden a few, and I mean, Sasuke himself, forget Naruto, because he's obviously upgraded a bunch, but Sasuke, like, we really haven't touched on his full potential. I mean, last we really saw him do a lot of stuff was when he had the Mange Cube that was diminishing his sight. And then he got the eye transplant from Itachi's eyes. We never saw him, use any of his new abilities after that. He just, sunk into the darkness and was just like gone for like 50 chapters. Then after that, he returns. We don't see much of his techniques. He now gains the Rinnegan, which is 2 steps up. But at the same time, it's like, what really can they do? We've seen Madara, who's on another level, being able to use the Rinnegan as well and take out the Kages effortlessly and just take out Sasuke in one sword thrust. It's gonna be it may be a lame fight because it's like downgrade of powers. The chapter almost by the way Sasuke described it, it's almost like I needed to work together with all you people that I hated in order to defeat people that I knew were stronger than me. Now that I've got them out of the way, we're going to have this final duel, Naruto, because you're the last one. And it almost implies that the fight's going to be a lesser fight, but again, the author can't make it a lesser fight because, he has to appease his fans, and they all want, they all thought, and I thought too, back 200 chapters ago that, this would be the huge climax, the final fight. But, it's his story. We'll see where it goes. Again, appeasing your friends with all that pressure, it's very, very tough to not, to turn a blind ear to thousands of fans. So we'll see how it goes. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think this is right? Do you think it's wrong? Do you think it's just too much? Do you think there's certain things that shouldn't have even been started? The whole Kaguya thing, the whole Obito or Madara thing. Again, Madara's ending was also somewhat anticlimactic and underwhelming. For such a great build-up, it was just like, okay, he gets betrayed, and then he dies, and then he's just like, oh, he never really apologizes either, and it's not like it's not really completely like. If he were revived to full health, would he change his ways at all? It was more so just like, reality, which I actually like. The whole idea of, I'm about to die, I'm gonna have to be punished for what I've done. I haven't really, changed my ways, but that's the laws of nature's. The Sage's Sixth Path says, he's gonna be punished for what he's done in the afterlife or whatever. So that's all we want to say, and let me know if I got anything wrong or missed something, or your own thoughts. As always, like, favorite, comment, share this video throughout the internet to people you think would like this sort of thing, and subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.